So students, in this video I'm going to quickly revise a few of the important points that we need to remember for adsorption. Now what is adsorption? Adsorption is the accumulation of particles on the surface, right? We are only talking about the surface here. So let's suppose that I have a surface like this. This is a surface and there is a molecule here, right? So now what will happen? There is going to be a formation of a bond here, right? I can say that it forms let's say weak or strong bond with the surface. So that completely depends upon what is the surface and what kind of a molecule is getting attached to it. So if that is the case, then we know that the moment the bond is going to be formed, the energy is going to be released. So when energy is going to be released, we know it is an exothermic reaction. And if it is an exothermic reaction, we say that the delta H is negative. So that is one thing that you need to remember, that whenever the adsorption is happening, it is an exothermic reaction and the enthalpy is negative. The energy is being released during the reaction, and that is why delta H is negative. Now we also know, let us suppose that this was my surface and the molecules are coming and getting attached here. The accumulation of the molecules is happening on the surface, and we know that I have not tried anything to do this process. It is a spontaneous reaction, and from thermodynamics in class 11th you remember that if a reaction is spontaneous, we call delta G to be negative. Delta G is positive for non-spontaneous reaction. This is delta G negative for the spontaneous reaction. Delta G is your Gibbs free energy. Now that means your delta H is also negative and your delta G is also negative. Now let us also look at one another aspect of adsorption. Let us suppose I have a surface like this, right? Now all the molecules were somewhere around the surface. Now once the adsorption has happened, what happens? They all come close and they all accumulate at the surface because they have formed a bond. I am not talking about how good the bond is. It can be weak, it can be strong, that depends. But now if I talk about the randomness of the molecules here, the randomness or the disorderedness before the adsorption, what is it? It is highly random, or I can say it is highly in the disordered state, right? But when I'm talking about here, the randomness has decreased. The randomness decreases because as they get accumulated on the surface, they are arranged in a proper manner. So I can say that the entropy has decreased. What is entropy? Entropy is the degree of randomness or disorderedness. So here the entropy was very high, and after adsorption the entropy has decreased. So I can again say that entropy decreases means delta S is equal to negative. Do you understand? Right? So the most common thing that you have to remember, that for adsorption your delta H, your delta G, your delta S all are in negative. Know that adsorption is of two types. It is either physisorption or it is either chemisorption. Now as the name suggests that here there are physical bonds that are formed and here there are chemical bonds that are formed. So again, if I try to understand, this is the surface, here is the molecule. So there is a physical bond. So, and we know physical bonds are weak bonds. So physisorption has weak bonds, and if I'm talking about the chemisorption, there is a strong bond. What will happen if I increase or decrease the temperature? Let's talk about effect of temperature on both of them, right? So now if I have to draw the graph, let's say this is the temperature, This is for chemisorption, this is for physisorption, and I'm going to talk about in the terms of x by m. Now what is x by m? X by m is the extent of adsorption. How do you say that it is extent of adsorption? What is x? X is the mass of the adsorbent. That means how much amount of the molecule is going to be adsorbed. And what is m? M is how much amount of molecule is adsorbed on surface. I'm sorry, I have written it the opposite. This is your m and this is your x. M is the mass of the adsorbent. That means what total amount of mass of adsorbent is available for adsorption. X is how much amount of the molecule is actually getting adsorbed. So if you divide both of them, you will exactly know कि कितनी space available थी और कितनी adsorption हुई है उतने area पे. So x by m is going to tell you the extent of adsorption. Let's first talk about physisorption. Now, as you are going to increase the temperature, the extent of adsorption decreases. The graph is going to be like this. Now, why? You remember that we talked about physisorption having the weak bonds between them. So, if you are increasing the temperature, the molecules go away from the surface. They are weakly bonded to the surface. So, the moment you increase the temperature, they go away from the surface. So, if they are going away from the surface, what will happen? Desorption will happen. Desorption means the opposite of adsorption. Adsorption was accumulation of the particles on the surface. Desorption means it is going away from the surface. So the moment you increase the temperature, the molecules will go away from the surface, and that is why as you are increasing the temperature, the extent of adsorption is decreasing. Now what will happen in the case of chemisorption? Again, as the temperature is increasing, the extent of adsorption increases. It goes till a maximum amount and then it starts decreasing. Now what has happened here? You remember that the bonds were strong here. The bonds were chemically, they were the chemical bonds. So the energy, as the temperature was increased, initially the temperature was used to reach the activation energy. So till here the activation energy was being reached. Once the bond was formed, right? What was happening here? The bond was already there. So if you were increasing the temperature, there is a certain amount of activation energy here. So that much temperature, that much energy that you were providing in the form of temperature was being utilized in overcoming the activation energy here. So the moment the activation energy was overcome, after that it started decreasing because now the molecule was free to move away, right? So if the temperature is used, initially the temperature is used to reach the activation energy. Once the bond is formed, if you still increase the temperature, the bond breaks. Repeat again, since you were increasing the temperature initially, what was happening? It was helping in the bond formation. Till here the activation energy was overcome and the bond was formed here. Now if you still increase the temperature even more, then the bond will start to break. So this is bond formation and this is bond breaking. Okay. Let's see what is the effect of pressure here. Now if I'm talking about physisorption, and here I will be talking about chemisorption. So now again I will draw the graph. Now instead of temperature I will write pressure. This is extent of adsorption. Here also I will draw the same graph. This is x by m here. Now what will happen is, then when you will draw the graph between the pressure and the extent of adsorption, the graph goes like this. This is constantly increasing, right? Why? If you remember, physisorption is multimolecular. It forms a multimolecular layer. So if you are increasing the pressure, the more number of molecules get adsorbed. This was the surface. There were so many molecules here. So now what will happen? If you are increasing the pressure, one layer can be formed like this and the second layer can be formed like this, and even if you are increasing the pressure, the third layer is formed. So the physisorption occurs by the formation of a multimolecular layer, since it is only talking about physical bonds which are not so specific, so they all can bond at once. So if you are increasing the pressure, the extent of adsorption goes on increasing. Now if I am talking about chemisorption, now what will happen? Now it will increase and then it will become constant. So in this portion I will say it is increasing, and in this portion I will say it is constant. Now what is the logic behind it? Now let me just grab a pen. I had this molecule. Let's say there were around 20 molecules which were here, right? And then I have a molecule which has let's say 1000 molecules are here. So ideally, where should be more adsorption happening? If it was a physis option, more the number of molecules, the more pressure you apply, there is going to be more adsorption. But if I'm talking about chemisorption, initially what is happening, the surface is available. So even the more number of molecules, so if you are increasing the pressure, adsorption increases because there is a lot of number of molecules available for getting adsorbed. What will happen when this was 20 ml? You have increased the pressure and the molecules have got absorbed. Now you remember chemisorption forms only a monolayer, right? So once the surface is entirely covered with one monolayer, now the surface is not available. When it is not available after monolayer formation. So since the surface is not available, so even if you bring 1000, 2000, 30,000 molecules, there is not going to be any more adsorption. The saturation has been achieved. So now what is happening? The lack of availability of the surface for adsorption is happening. So therefore there is no more adsorption that can occur. Once you have reached the maximum adsorption here, once that has been achieved, even if you apply more pressure, if you bring more number of molecules, the extent of adsorption is constant because the surface is no more available. So I hope this video has helped you to understand, if you are talking about adsorption, what is the value, what is the sign for delta H, delta S and delta G. How does the effect of temperature and pressure different for physisorption and chemisorption, and this would help you to solve a lot of questions from this chapter. In my video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much.